He's just amazing, family. An amazing guest. I say amazing because he's a professor. He's going to be a professor on the show today. His name is Garrin Bulani. And for the folks that don't know, Garrin has over a decade of sales experience and have generated millions in revenue for Fortune 500 companies. His goal is to help working professionals show up better in their video calls to help them close more deals, earn their dream job sooner, and of course, develop their professional brand. And he is a content creator himself. So I am very excited to bring this guest to you guys tonight. And so stay with me because it's about to be a fun conversation as we're talking about the importance of building an independent media source for your business. Well, let's dive into it right after this intro. We'll be right back, family. Stay with me. All right, all right, all right. What's good, Garrin? How you doing today?
What's going on? Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Let's go, family. Let's go. This is it. I told you guys you were in for a party. Happy New Year, Garrin. How you feeling this year?
Oh, I'm energized. I'm ready for 2023. And I know we were talking before we were going to get on the last show of last year, but I said, hey, I'm ready to sprint for 2023. So thank you so much for having me on the first episode of the new year. It's
Yes,
some big
sir.
things happening for content creators. I'm really excited.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, man. I mean, you guys know we always bringing you the best, and Garrin is one of the best in the game. We're excited to have him here. Hey, Garrin, we always say our guest is our professor, so allow me to say Professor Bulani is in the place,
Hey,
right?
Professor Milani, I like that. That sounds nice. That sounds good.
Absolutely, man. Take a minute. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks that are discovering you for the first time, please.
Of course. Listen, everybody, I appreciate you all tuning in. My name is Garrin Bulani. I'm a professional live streamer and a content creator specifically for LinkedIn. So over the last 3 years, I've been helping companies and individuals leverage live streaming and video to develop their professional brand and, of course, show up better in a virtual world so they can be a credible source, which, of course, results in better brand recognition, closing deals quicker, and getting the exposure on a global scale. I'm from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. Nobody knows where that is, but here we are in the studio with JP High Tech, building my brand and communicating to. I'm on Roku TV, Mama. I'm on Roku TV. Let's go.
Yo, real talk, man. I don't know where that is. I never heard about it either. And here we are. We are connecting with the power of technology, which is what I love, man. This is fantastic. The things that we can do today, whether you're a content creator or not, you use technology. Well, the things that we do is amazing, which is why I love a lot of the things that you do. We're about to dive into it, talking about the importance of building an independent media source for your business. What does that even mean, right? Well, we're about to talk about it just in a minute. Before we dive into all of that, Gary, thank you so much for your introduction. That's amazing. We need more people like you to help professionals on the playing field so that we can all level up and we can make a better impact. That's what this is all about. Now, one thing that we do, we want to learn to know our guests in a unique manner, fun manner. So do have a question for you. But before I do that, allow me to give a shout out to the folks that are joining us in the comment section right here. Oh, look at that. I have John Lacey. It was good, John. I really appreciate you joining us here tonight. I see Cree. Look at that. I see Cree, First Lady Cree right there. I see New Beginning Ministries International. Hey, look, they're all here and they're all here to support us in the show, which is phenomenal. I am really grateful that you guys are here. And of course, if you have a question for our guest, do not hesitate. All right. He's an amazing fellow. He will, be more than happy to answer your questions. Anything you might be thinking about, go ahead and drop it in the comment section. We're here for a fun conversation. Okay. So, let's go ahead and dive into it, Garrin. Now, here's my first question to you, right? If you were a superhero, who will it be and why?
Yeah, good question. I'm not a huge superhero fan, so I got to go with the plain Jane. We got to do Clark Kent. We'll go a little Superman on him because, Man of Steel. But when I do my live streamings, listen, I show up virtually professional. is why you see me in a shirt and tie. But as you know, JP High Tech, when I do my live stream, sometimes I get a little wild and have a little fun. So there's a different side of me when I do live streaming. So hey, call me Superman because that's how we do it.
Hey, he's a Superman. Family, you should have seen New Year's Eve. I mean, my man put on the
It was
show
wild.
on LinkedIn, and I saw it was a third edition, if I'm not mistaken.
It was a third annual one, yeah. So this
Yeah.
is I did this and it was just fun. It's just something I put on a pre party for LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a very unique platform where you don't get muted when you play trending music and stuff like that. So, and I really put a huge emphasis on building my brand through LinkedIn. I'm an individual who grew up in the content creator world. I'm 31, right? So I understand the value of developing a personal brand and creating content. However, LinkedIn lacks significantly for high quality video content creators, specifically in the sales industry. And I really want to capitalize on that because I genuinely feel LinkedIn is a sea of blue. So that's where I really like to show out for my community on LinkedIn because they support me through and through. So we do that annual New Year's Eve party just to have some fun, and then yeah, either get some contracts or break some contracts, one of the two.
Hey, family, go ahead and look him up on LinkedIn. Go check it out, man. This New Year's Eve was fun, man. He took a lot of people to on the memory lane, man. So I love it, and I hope you guys are taking note already, right? We have not even dived into the actual nitty and gritty, and my guess is, dropping knowledge already and wisdom on you guys. He's clearly telling you what we've been sharing in the community. LinkedIn is a place where you can grow your brand. And he just said, right, he's invested a lot on LinkedIn to grow his brand. And that's played a major part on who he is today. I'm talking about his reach, and that is amazing, right? Because a lot of creators don't really think of going on LinkedIn to grow their brand, right? And so that is really amazing that you selected that platform, thinking and understanding that actually LinkedIn is where the CEOs are, the decision makers are, and people that are
Yeah.
ready to spend the money with you, with your, product or service are without any middleman, I say, right? And that's pretty amazing. Now, my next question for you will be, if you were to give a one major piece of advice to yourself, right? So to Garrin Bulani when he was 20 years old, what will it be and why?
So Garrin Bulani 20 years ago was a door-to-door sales rep. So I sold door-to-door for 8 years for a home security company during university while I was getting my Bachelor of Commerce with a marketing major. And 18 to 19 to 20, when you're working the summer months, it's
Mm-hmm.
very, very difficult to cut out the partying and then the social aspect of what you're doing to really dedicate to creating a sound income and a
Right.
solid foundation as far as a professional career goes. So with me, I'm very, very thankful. So I would go back to my 20-year-old Garen and I say, listen, G, I know it sucks right now. You keep doing what you're doing right now because the dividends are going to pay with all the hard work that you're putting in now. It's going to pay back at a greater scale than just 20-year-old partying in the summertime kind of thing. And I put myself in a very solid position where I was able to graduate debt free and really establish my professional career and my personal life to a stable place because of all the commitment and all the delayed gratification. So I would tell 20-year-old G, keep doing what you're doing because there's great things happening and that's just how we're doing it.
I love it, man. I keep doing it. I'm smiling by the reality. There's a lot of things that if you just kept going, if only you believed in yourself enough to just keep going, there's certain result you'll have gotten. But because we dropped it too soon, right? Some people just abandoned the project too soon. They didn't see the result that they were seeking because we understand that not everything you can get at the same time. Some things take longer to build. And to be honest, the most lasting things take longer to build, right? And so that is fantastic. Now, let's go ahead and dive into the conversation of the day. But a couple of things that I wanted, for you to share with our community here. I'm looking on your website here, and it clearly says, you help organizations across the globe implement modern day video marketing strategies to amplify content creation. What does that mean? Explain, please.
Yes, and this is what started my company, Micro Studio. So after I've done 8 years of door-to-door sales, I went into the corporate space where I sold paper shredding for 5 of those years. And 3 years ago now, just like everybody else, as an outside sales executive, we were told that, hey, you have to start doing video meetings. And it took me about a month of going on to video meetings to really understand, hey, there's a huge problem with this and the quality and the communication skills, because we think about sales and creating emotion, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
why they
Mm-hmm.
have outside sales executives to go in there and create this emotion and create this engagement. And
Right.
so many people struggled with providing an emotional experience in the virtual world. And that came down to a lot of it with poor technology, poor knowledge, because we were all thrown into this 3 years ago. Say, hey, good luck.
Mm-hmm.
So not a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people had any sort of online brand compliance. We had JP High Tech absolutely killing it on the sales. And then we had Garrin Bulani, who could barely use a laptop web camera. We're both representing the same organization, but we're providing different results to our clientele. So I saw that right away. And I knew that there needed to be online brand compliance for that. So you could have a whole company looking the exact same in a virtual space. And that's what really brought me into this world and started continually educating myself on the equipment and how we can provide that emotion in a virtual world. How can we provide an engaging presentation in the virtual world to get them to want to buy in that meeting? And that's where Micro Studio was born. That's where I was able to be a virtual sales trainer where I can teach clients how to implement video message, right? JP, you just mentioned. Now we can message you through video and create engagement. Are you kidding me? That is what is one of the key factors and the key successes I've had over the last 3 years to be able to get exposure and to get those meetings with those CEOs, CROs, the people who write the checks. And even going into a Zoom meeting of 50 other people, when you show up like we do, it's like you show up in a suit in the corporate space. They see that, they notice that, and then they say, "Hey, what is it? What is this guy doing? Why does JP look so hype?" And then that's how you get all the inbound leads and everything. So that's what
Absolutely.
really transpired into everything.
And I mean, it's instant because you are not, of course, of course, you can use your phone, you can use your webcam, but things have changed. If you truly want to, make an instant impact, if you truly want to, have people look at you and wonder, hey, is this person? If you truly want that credibility, instant credibility, and really have one foot in the door without saying anything, well, that's what Garrett is telling you, right? You have to take your online video presence seriously. And I love that. That's why you have microstudio.ca. Family, that's a website. Microstudio.ca is where you need to go. Amazing that you are doing something like this to help other organizations, professionals on the marketplace leverage video in such an amazing way. And one thing that I love about Micro Studio is that pretty much this guy, and I gotta say it live, he was doing a live stream in the airport. And guys, we all know how terrible airport internet can be. Well, he was using, where's the bag? This bag right here, Micro Studio. If you're listening to this, man, hop on YouTube or come and watch it and see what we're talking about. It is important that you actually watch it and see what we're talking about because we're presenting the product to you. So Micro Studio, right? Micro Studio design on the back is a bag that has quite a lot of stuff. And you can have a list by going to microstudio.ca, right? But he used this, tapped into the Wi-Fi of the airport, and was able to provide a decent live stream that was honestly surprising. And I was telling him off stage that it is important that you give those shout out live for people to know, hey man, you're doing an amazing work. And I got to tell you, family, for a mobile setup, this is like a streaming machine in the back. I mean, this is what it is. And so shout out to you for what you're doing, Garrin. I mean, this is literally amazing stuff. So we're talking independent media source. First
Yes.
of all, from your professional standpoint or point of view, what is an independent media source to you?
To me, it's the ability to give yourself exposure on demand, right? And this is why I like to teach clients why live streaming is so important, because we have an opportunity where we can connect with potential clients and customers in real time. How often do we get the exact same questions over and over again as independent clients or
Oh
consultants, right?
boy.
So we have an opportunity to hop on and answer questions in real time. and take these live streams and start marketing into micro content. This is the biggest difficulty that I found with clients is you can have all the equipment in the world and you can do that and it'd be cool. But if you're not really utilizing your live streams to create content, then it's just wasted space. So really squeezing out as much as you can when it comes to these live streams, but not having to rely on any other marketing team, right? Anytime you want, you can hop on a live stream and say, hey, these are my thoughts for today. These are some of the questions that my clients actually asked me today, and I want to walk everybody through that. So we're all on the exact same page. So you don't find yourself every single day having to answer this question. You can say, oh, we actually talked about this on the live stream. Here, let me get this cut out for you. I'll send you the 1 minute clip of it, and then I can have that answered for you. And then you have that forever. And it allows you to build a whole content library where it starts to funnel itself. And you can do that all on your own by the quick click of a button and going live and having that confidence to be able to provide, again, deliver an engaging presentation for your clientele that's going to make them trust you, like you, and then in hopes want to buy and work with you.
Fantastic. I love what you're saying, right? And now we do have folks, right? We do have folks in this community and such that will tell you, okay, that's great, Garrett. It's great and all, but what if I'm not a content creator? What if that's not who I am? That's not my strong suit. Why should I hire somebody? Right? Are you saying I should hire somebody that will be dedicated to be producing content for my company? But I'm a small company, so what will be your intake on that?
That's a great question, and that's where we talk about verbiage and worded, and the word live stream really scares people, right? Just with the world we're in, if we go in live, hey, what if I say the wrong thing? Is it going to be detrimental to my brand and this and that? And for individuals who maybe are not comfortable being on live and they want to do that, this is what's really good about content creators such as yourself and myself is, you have user generated content where,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I have no problem hopping on a live stream. Let's represent your brand on your behalf. Hey, it's your show. I'm just the host. My name is Garrin Bulani. I'm representing JP High Tech right now. And we're going to be talking about Bubbly and why you should be having Bubbly every single day and going into that. So there is a whole library of content creators who are willing to help that for you. So if you are scared to get in front of the camera, there are other options. However, there's no better face than the face of the company, which is you and whoever else is owning. So I would highly recommend that. But then the second best one might be me. So if you want any help, let's see what we can do.
Absolutely love that, and then this is a question that we actually got, so it is important that we answer that. And I'm loving the answers. Of course, if you don't believe you can do it, not a problem to partner with other professionals such as Garrin and such that can help you get the message across, right? Or that's why you have sponsorship such as we have on this show. Somebody can become ambassador of your brand and help really create traffic surrounding your product and service that you have to offer. Now, of course, talking about building an independent media source, I believe there's something deeper there, right? Because what in return how much work do you believe? Because you've been doing this for a while. So how much work?
Yes.
And this is the aspect I want to talk about it because we don't usually talk about how much work it takes, right? Because you can be so good at what you do that you make it seem easy. And so whenever somebody's trying to do it, they realize this is not as easy as Garrett made it seem. So honestly, how much work do you believe you have to put into it, considering all of the destinations we have today, right? All of the social media destinations that we don't even know where we got to broadcast to. How are you doing it? Because you did mention how you leverage LinkedIn. So what is your approach there on building your brand and putting the word out so you can build a sustainable clientele, leveraging content creation?
Yes, and that's also a very, very good point because my previous work history, I've worked for 4 to 500 companies. So when you pick up the phone, hey, I worked for this company, there's recognition there. And I realized over the last 2 years, I was building up Micro Studio, but I was also building up my personal brand, Garrin Bulani. Who is Garrin Bulani as an individual, as a founder, as a leader? And building up one company is another thing,
Hmm.
but building up your personal brand is there's two things. So it took me twice as long as I thought it would be. But again, it's almost like you're building up two businesses. And I really want to emphasize this with clients about your personal brand, no matter who you are. If you're in a corporate space and you're representing a company, that's amazing and you need to do that. But do not forget who you are and the value you bring to your companies. And I've seen a handful of dedicated sales professionals, working professionals that have worked with their company for a long time get let go due to unforeseen circumstances, and they're left there without a personal brand and nothing to fall back on. So the importance of an independent media source is you. You're the independent media source. How are you going to get yourself exposed to the world? Even though you might represent Microsoft, even though you might represent Google, you're still your own individual. And if anything goes haywire, you have something to fall back on, which is your personal brand. And that's the importance of being an independent media source.
This is fantastic because I'm a global branding expert, right? So when we're talking about branding, we always, whenever we're speaking to clients, we always explain to them, especially in the corporate world, right? We always explain to them the importance of owning their own brand, right? Because you can spend your time building an empire and forget about yourself. You get lost in the shuffle, I call it, right? And then God forbid, right? You separate yourself from that organization or whatever it is. Now you have to build another one from scratch. But if only you focus on making sure the common denominator, which is you, was also attended to, guess what? All you have to do is keep your name growing. And anything else that you attach to it receives the pretty much the same level of visibility because you positioned yourself at a certain level. Which is somebody asked me not long ago, Garrin. I love that you said that. Someone asked me a couple of days ago, "Hey JP, why is it that your YouTube channel is not Content Creators University, but it's JP High Tech?" I'm like, there you go. Because of my name is important. And remember, people are following you. So I can call the show whatever I want, right? But is my name first. And that is what people will Google, right? If I recommend Garrin, people will go first and Google him. Let's say, who is this Garrin Bulani? Let me see who it's all about. And everything else that's attached to him, Micro Studio, everything he's doing, his background now will show up with what he's offering. And that is how, one of the secrets, how people are impacting with, their personal brand and their company that they have built. I'm loving this conversation, Garrin. Now look at that. John Lacey saying,
John
that's a great
Lacey.
point. That's a great point about personal branding. Who are you after you leave your company? Does anyone know? Well, that's a great point, John. I'm loving that you saying that. Who are you, man? I mean, who are you after that? So I wanted to talk about the independent creator, the person that really doesn't know anything about business, and that's what this podcast is about, right? Empowering those people that really are not that great business savvy, but are pretty good at creating content because there's a lot more of those out there that really, man, they can really run circles around me when it comes out to creating content. But where I get them is how to build a business. So, as a business savvy yourself, right? When is it time, would you say, to ask for help, or when do you believe you just got to keep going yourself? I'm asking you those questions because I've been following you for a while and I've seen you work so hard on your own grind. So when do you believe it's truly time to say, you know what, time for me to go ask for help?
Probably 10 months before you actually come to terms of you need to ask for help in all reality. Right. So, and the thing is, you should always ask for help. And people are difficult asking for help because they're afraid or it's an ego thing. With me as an outside sales executive, I have a I think highly of myself and I can do a lot of stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to building a business, you either have time or you have money. If you have no money and a lot of time, well, you got to pick up the book and get going. But if you have a lot of money and not a lot of time, that's the point where it starts to come out sourcing and everything like that. But this is an amazing opportunity when it comes to live streaming and video content creation is you can connect with the JP High Techs and say, hey, this is what I'm doing and I'm spinning my wheels, what am I missing? Right? Because there's so many aspects to business that you think but in reality, one question away can skyrocket you significantly. So, being able to put the ego aside for a little bit and say, hey, listen, I need a little bit of help, a little bit of a boost can do wonders for you. So, um, with me, I always say this, it's always I need to start outsourcing and doing more with that. And that's my goal for 2023 because the amount of work I put in over the last 3 years was very tiresome because it was I have time but no money situation. So if I have time, I got to capitalize on that time
Mm-hmm.
because I don't
Mm-hmm.
have the finances and that. Where now it's starting to shift over where my time is very precious. It's not like I don't have time. However, I have to be mindful where I'm utilizing that time because as business owners, yes, we can do everything. But JP, are you better off behind a screen editing a video, or are you better off speaking with potential clients and community and all of that, right? So it's really understanding where your strengths are and utilizing those strengths so you can outsource stuff that maybe is not of value to your time. So it's very important. And that's where I'm really starting to navigate that as a business owner because I'm a business owner, but listen, as an entrepreneur for 3 years, it's very different. When you're a high caliber sales representative, we talk about delayed gratification. Well, when you're in commissions, you constantly get that gratification that you're doing the right thing. Where if you're a founder, you don't see that instant result right away. So
Right,
that's
right.
where it's putting the head down and say, hey, I'm doing the right things, but also asking to make sure, hey, is this the right way? Is this the right direction? Because I think I'm going that way, but maybe I should go this way. I'm not sure. So it's really imperative to be mindful of that when you're navigating through entrepreneurship.
Hey, man, I'm loving that. We're going to go ahead and take a quick ad break. When we come back, I want us to talk about, you know, AI a little bit. We had a show
Mm,
about it, but we
yes.
cannot get into we cannot start 2023 without still talking about artificial intelligence, and especially as a content creator and a person that has a business to empower other organization create content to grow their brand. It is important to talk about AI. I want to get your input on that and how you think, or if you even think that artificial intelligence, is a
Oh,
competition to the things you do or not. That's an interesting conversation that goes into building an independent media source. How should we position ourselves in your professional stand view and stuff like that? That will be important. So let's go ahead and take a quick ad break. And when we come back, we'll talk about it. Family, stay with us. We'll be right back
perfect.
right after this. And let's get back with our guest. Very, very, very exciting stuff that we're talking about. Hey, Garrin, thank you so much again. We're back to this second part of this interview. You've been dropping a lot of knowledge on us today, and we've been having a lot of fun learning about your expertise and your background and why you do certain things the way you do them. Thank you so much for everything. Now, we're in 2023, and one thing that is very prevalent today is the use of artificial intelligence. And you help other organizations, right, and professionals create content, right, to help push their brand. But today we have artificial intelligence that some people are saying might be a competition or might take away jobs from all creatives because they're doing amazing things, right? You're an artist, and what you it will take you 3 days to do, you have AI that's doing that in 10 minutes. So, what's your professional feeling about AI? Do you think it's a competition, or do you think it's a welcome addition to the tools that content creators can use?
I mean, first of all, I gotta tie the LUT thing. You see, I like how my LUT's not that good. I got a little color coordination, but you can see a little difference in the skin tone a little bit there. So I had to do a little LUT flex. It's not as good as JP High Techs, but it's very, very important to have that. Um, AI is crazy. And I think that question really relies onto what type of content creator you are. And I say that because myself, I'm a video creator, I'm a digital creator, and I have my face on the screen. So it's often imitated, but never replicated when it comes to
Hmm.
video. And that's another reason why I think video is extremely important because there's a human element that we are going to start to get away from. I fear for copywriters in all actuality, and I say that because I am not the best writer. I am not a good writer, and that was probably as far as a content creator goes, being able to pump out blogs and do that
Right, right.
has always been Achilles heel. And you think about SEO and exposure, being able to do blogs and writing content and getting features is an amazing thing. So I used AI over the last couple months and listen, as somebody who doesn't write stuff, I communicated with it, say, hey, I'm gonna write to me as if you're an editor and tell me, write me a blog about the importance of
Mm-hmm.
content creation and live streaming. And this thing spit out something in it's ridiculous time, maybe 15, 20 seconds. And I read this thing. I'm like, even if I sat there and thought about this, I wouldn't have been able to come up to something as in depth of what it is. So me as a content creator, being able to pump out 2 to 3 blogs by just communicating with it, and we talk about this, JP, help. It
Mm-hmm.
could be help for people who have struggled with that. So all of a sudden, I have AI who can be an employee for me and help me with content writing to where now I can do a blog every day within a half hour. So I find that extremely powerful. And so it could be competition depending how you want, but listen, every time technology comes out, when the cell phone comes out, hey, it was a competition to the phone, and I mean, obviously it was, so it kind of got replaced, but it's technology. We need to move with it. It's not going anywhere. So for someone to completely ignore it and not touch it because they were afraid, again, technology moves very fast. So if you the more you push it away, the further behind you're going to be as far as using it. But you can definitely use it for your advantage and get more traction. That could be a help aspect for you. So that's kind of my experience with AI for right now.
Well, I love it. It is important that we talk about these things because a lot of creators are actually afraid, right? A lot of creators are wondering what's the future of content creation with when we have artificial intelligence. But I love what you said. There's one thing that we can never forget is the human aspect. Regardless of how far technology can go, technology or artificial intelligence is still not a human. So the human
Exactly.
factor is that unknown that you cannot delete. You still always will need human. So because we're human, we can do a lot of stuff. We can adapt. We can really, reinvent ourselves, rebrand ourselves. We can develop new skills. We can improve the way or change the way we're offering the things that we're offering. We can look at the competition and come up with packages, different creative ways because we are creators to really offer and really tap into the market and add whatever's there in technology to the things that we're doing and look at it as a tool, right? That we could use today to really improve or maybe do what we do. You just said something, and I'm about to flip the script on you, right? You just said, okay, you're a little scared for copywriters. Honestly, if you were to ask JP will say, if I am a copywriter, I just found a tool that's going to make my life easier.
Right?
I'm telling you, do you know how many people that are not going to trust an AI written copy?
Or how to
So,
use it properly.
or how to use it properly. Exactly. So now that you use that, it will do half of your work for you in 10 minutes. Now you take that, you review it, and add little bits and pieces, right? Correct, add this and there, and bam. What will have taken you
The
three
human
days is
element.
now taking, yeah, the human element. Now you look over
Right?
everything, and boom, you add the bells and whistles of what you wanted, and the job is done in a day. So now you can turn around more than you used to, which means that you can really land more clients, you can service more people. So it's all about the philosophy behind how we are approaching, in my humble opinion, right? And look at John, man. John still said, I just hope everyone using the AI tools know how to fact check the stuff they generate. Whew. Let me
That is
stop it
true.
right there.
You talk about copywriting and stuff like that. When it's spitting it out, is there a way to copyright that? But it's, of course, you're right. As it depends how you look at it. You're right. It's a copyright. It's like now you can use that as a tool, and again, just pump it out quickly if you're having writer's block or something like that. Hey, let's have something to push me through. So great, great point on that.
I mean, it's just amazing, and this is so important. I love, us interjecting into this because this is helping a lot of people, and understand that there's really ways to go around and really still growing and doing stuff. We've got to the end of the show. I can't believe that we've gone to
Man,
the end of the show, man. The time has gone by so fast. We can let you go because I know you have a special gift for our community, right? I want you to talk about it so they can go ahead and join or, download what you have. I'm going to let you take it and also share with the community. How can they work with you? Where can they find you and things like that? So for the folks that want to continue the conversation can do so. Take it away.
of course, JP, of course, thank you so much for having me. And if you do have interest in communicating with me again, I'm a content creator for LinkedIn, so I'm very active on LinkedIn. However, if you don't have LinkedIn, you can check me out on my social pages, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. It's at Garrin Bulani, so GarrinBulani. And for me, as a sales trainer, I wanted to simplify and accelerate the ability to show up better on video. So I actually created a digital course. It's called Your Virtual Event Checklist. And JP, we ran into this today. Technology
Mm-hmm.
is as good as it is until it falls apart. So, as a remote producer and as a virtual professional, are you able to troubleshoot your technology quickly and effectively when it may not work properly? And your virtual event checklist is going to walk you through that. It's a 26 episode course, over 160 minutes of that 1080p crispy, a little bit of a LUT, not a custom LUT on there, but it creates an engaging thing. And you can go over to microstudio.ca. It's a free download for you. Simply just have to give an email and you can come into our community. I constantly am putting on live streams through LinkedIn and YouTube where it's education and entertainment. And you can all see that through microstudio.ca. You can also visit my personal professional page as we saw, so GarrinBulani.com, and then we communicate through that. So I would love to talk with you any way that I can help or just have your support. I appreciate you all being here because without you all and without you all supporting us, content creation couldn't be a thing. So thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate it.
Whoo, hey man, I love the way you close it. Mic drop, man. There you go. You heard him. He said it. All right. Microstudio.ca is the place to go. And don't forget, right? Personally, you can connect with him as well by going to Garrin Bulani, GARRIN Bulani, BULANI.com is where you're going to find him. That's his name, Garrin Bulani, on all social media. You can easily find him more on LinkedIn. He's very present. Hey, man, I want to go ahead and thank you again for accepting our invitation, coming up here to the show. We appreciate you. Don't go anywhere. Please stay backstage as I go ahead and close with the community, and I'll be right back with you. I appreciate
Perfect.
you, man.
Thank you all.